everybody. In this video, I'm walking you through how to do sitting knee pillow squeeze hold. So for sitting knee pillow squeeze hold, you are going to need something to hold onto with your legs. I've got a yoga block here, but this could absolutely be a cushion that's folded in two. It could be a bundled up jumper. It could be a loo roll, which sounds a bit weird, but it's about the right width. Or if you've got nothing else, you can actually put your hands together like this and put them in between your knees. But basically what you are looking for is some sort of object that's going to offer you resistance to put in between your knees a little bit further up your thighs. So I don't want your block or whatever it is in between the bony bits of your knees. You won't wake up your muscles in quite the same way. I want you to bring the block so that it's on the fleshy bits of your legs, and that's going to help you stimulate your muscles. Whatever it is that you're putting in between your knees, you want it to keep your kneecaps and your femurs tracking in alignment with the hip. So it depends on the size of the thing that you have, but I wouldn't put my block this wide way, because if I did, my knees would be wider than my hips, and I wouldn't put it this narrow way because my knees will be narrower than my hips. For me, that medium way is perfect. You have to use your own judgment with the block, with the object that you're using, sorry. So I'm putting that in between my knees a little bit further up. Once again, this is a seated exercise from a sitting in extension position. So if you don't know what sitting in extension means, if you haven't watched my video on sitting in extension, please watch that first so that you understand the various cues of the base position that we're starting in, and I can focus just on the instructions for this particular layer of an extra exercise on top of it. So we've got our toes, ankles, knees and hips in alignment as per sitting in extension. Our ankles are underneath our knees, not in front, not behind. We're rolling our pelvis forwards like our Pac-Man. We're gonna put our palms facing up on our knees. We're not lifting up our rib cage. The sternum faces straight ahead. We're really hoping to get some work in the hips there. And all we're doing for this hold position, knee pillow squeeze hold, is we're squeezing the block, the pillow, the loo roll, the jumper, the hands, whatever it is that you've got. We're squeezing with our inner thighs here, and we're continuing to try and roll that pelvis forwards. So closing up our Pac-Man hips and really making sure that we're keeping our weight distribution even through both of our sit bones. So if you have a hip that can flex better than the other, which is entirely probable and plausible, I would say. No, entirely plausible and probable, I would say. You might notice that you're putting more weight through your more dominant, more functional hip. The hip that works better in this range of movement, you're probably tipping towards it and avoiding the more dysfunctional hip. So keeping those sit bones grounded really helps you get that sense of a balanced pelvis, and that's going to get you a more balanced response from your hips. So palms facing up. We're not lifting up our rib cage, but we are tensing up the front of our hips into flexion. We're squeezing inwards with our block, or whatever it is that we have, and that squeezing inwards of the block wakes up your adductors, your inner thighs, which can really help to pull the pelvis into a more balanced position. You're not crushing the block or crushing the jumper. You're keeping a squeeze at probably like a 30 to 40% of your effort. We're looking for a sustained, moderate engagement over a long period of time, rather than you crushing the block and then burning yourself out and kind of tiring yourself out really quickly. So the squeezing in of the block wakes up the inner thighs, and the rolling forwards of the pelvis wakes up the hip flexors. So we're creating kind of pelvic balance and pelvic strength through two different ranges of movement here. And all you need to do is sit here for between 2 minutes to 10 minutes, or however long you want, really focusing on the inner thighs working, focus on that pelvis drawing forwards, making sure you're not in pain, and making sure that you maintain a calm, deep, nasal, diaphragmatic breath. So we're getting the lower rib cage moving, we're getting out of our mouth, out of our chest, so we don't want the shoulders moving up and down around our ears. The shoulders stay still, the neck stays long. We're looking to breathe into our lower rib cage like we did as babies before we forgot how to breathe properly. So that was sitting knee pillow squeeze hold. I'll see you again soon.